Morning, guys and gals. Tim here, Spec Technologies. It's April 20th, 2020. I just walked in this morning, Monday morning. I got Jacob here with his gun on the table. And I said, why don't we do a video of this gun? It's pretty much a mess. It's been hanging on a hose now for probably 6-8 weeks. Nobody's cleaned it. Nobody's done anything to it. And I'm going to give you the compressed version of how to clean this gun. So the first thing we're going to do, Jacob's already got a little bit of a head start. He's going to pull that air cap off the front. You may have to get a little aggressive with that sometimes. Look inside the head of this thing. Oh, that's bad news right there, guys. That is ugly, ugly, ugly. Next thing we're going to do, go ahead and pull this retaining cap off the front. Sometimes you might have to put a pipe wrench on it, something on it to get aggressive. Now we're going to take a look at these side seals, see what they look like. Jacob may have to fight this. I won't make you endure the entire thing if they don't pop right out. Let's see what kind of shape they're in. A side's being a little tricky. Now we'll take a look at the B side, see if that pops out. Got the B side out. Oh, look down inside of there, guys. That foam is caked up. It's caked up in there. So we'll get this thing spotless here shortly. That A side's probably going to give them a battle. Let's see what it does. Now, if we had to knock that out, guys, we could take the entire fluid section off. Let's try that, Jacob. Let's try just taking the fluid section off. Take the big nut off there. Right there, yep. See, this whole front end comes off at this point. So that's going to be difficult. He's going to get a little pair of channel locks on that. We'll see if that comes off. Probably comes off with the mixing chamber. We'll see what it does. Maybe so, maybe not. Alright, let's go back to the A-side mixing chamber. We'll see if we can get that out of there. Alright, there's your A-side mixing chamber. Not too pretty, not too bad though. I've seen them worse than that. It's not too bad. We'll see if we can get this block off of here. A lot of junk in there, I'm sure. Here you go. Jacob's got that spinning off. He's under pressure now, guys. Great American gun build off. Alright, so here's my theory. Slow down there, Jacob. My theory is, let me see the inside of the side seal. You are so caked up inside of there, inside that side seal, I don't know if you guys can see down in there, that side seal cylinder, that you're never going to get this gun block off of that mixing chamber because it's so gummed up in here that this gun block here will not slide off that way. It's too caked up. Probably going to need to soak this up in some Pura in a Crock-pot, and Jacob will probably do that now, and we will come back to you. Stand by, guys. Alright, here's our Crock-pot, guys. Go in the kitchen, get your wife's best Crock-pot, and you can use it for soaking your gun parts. She'll really appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and strain this out. You see there's some sediment down there in the bottom. That Pura is still good. It may still be reactive. If not, we'll have to put some fresh Pura in there. But this should soften this. If you heat this Crock-pot up, it should soften it up a lot like boiled chicken skin. You'll be able to get that hardened ISO and hardened resin off of your gun parts. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, this is a two-man operation now. You guys need to go Home Depot, Lowe's, someplace, pick up paint strainers. That's a paint strainer right there. Or you can use your wife's best hairnet. or your own hairnet. Pour this out, you'll see the junk coming out of there. Chunkies of old hardened material that have come off of gun parts that we've cleaned up. Brett's going to go ahead and pull the strainer out. You're going to see all the junk that's left in it. Sometimes explain this to guys and they're like, oh, this is like the biggest project in the world. What did this take? All of, what are we at? 45 seconds. And we have strained out Pura that we can reuse. You see Jacob here wiping the can out. Look at all that junk in there. That all came off of gun parts and blocks. Anything else that we needed to strain out. You see a bunch of junk here that Jacob just wiped out. Pretty simple process, guys. Got to keep up with your equipment. If your equipment fails, then you fail. All right, we'll go ahead and pour that back in there. Jacob's going to finish wiping that out. We're going to throw our gun in there in just a few minutes. Plug in the Crock-pot, let it warm up. Those molecules heat up, they move around rapidly and help break down the hardened iso. There you are, guys. 1 minute and 45 seconds. We've strained our stuff out and ready to put the gun in the pot. Jacob will plug it in. Probably let this thing cook for an hour, maybe longer, and we will come back to this and I will update you ASAP. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, been about an hour and a half. Here's the gun. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of it. Got this block in here as well. Look at the see how the iso, all that hardened junk is now just hanging off of there. So we're gonna get Jacob back out here with his manly cleaning tools and go ahead and get this stuff cleaned up and polished up. I'll try to give you the highlights. Here we go. All right, if you got good employees, guys, this is the shirt they should be wearing. Don't rush me. I get paid by the hour. And this is why it takes us 6.5 hours to clean a gun that should take 45 minutes. All right, it's kind of funny. Anyhow, the gun's been soaking. Jacob's going to pull it out of the Pura. It's toasty hot, probably 150, 60 degrees anyhow. You can cook hot dogs in there. But this thing, if you look at it now, you'll notice that this old hardened product that was all over it, basically you can almost just about wipe it off of there. So we're making progress on this gun. Look at the front end of that thing. Remember how caked up that was? Jacob's going to get a couple of tools in there, get this hardened stuff off of there. You may still have to pick at it a little bit. But the goal was to get this block off the front end. And like I showed you before, we were all hardened up inside of these ports. You look inside that port there, if I can get behind Jacob's finger there, there you go. So that stuff's all mushy now. If you look at it, it's all softened up. Hopefully, we'll be able to get this block off the front. Get the old persuasion tool out here. We'll persuade the front end to come off of here. A couple more turns. The mixing chamber inside is probably turning with it. It's just going to be stubborn, this one. And it's hot. Again, if you look down in this hole, at iso or resin, whatever side we're on, I think that's the A side, right? No, that's the B side. So you got some junk in there, might be holding this thing onto the mixing chamber. Jacob's going to manipulate it. Get it off of there. You have to get the chamber to come out with it. It's loose. Is the chamber spinning?
Yes.
So if the chamber's spinning, guys, you're going to have to line it up in the keyway. Just keep spinning it and pulling it at the same time. You should be able. There it is. Okay, so there's the front end. You can see this thing's just jammed, packed. Let's see how hard this stuff is still. It's still, well, it's still okay. So I'm going to show you how to get this chamber out of here real quick without making a mess of this. We're going to haul this block right here over to your vise. We're going to open up this vise far enough for that mixing chamber to push out the back. We're going to put this thing butt down like that. Okay, so the chamber's lined up in the middle. Jacob's going to take his nut driver, put it on the top, and hopefully push this chamber out by hand, or he's going to have to get a little hammer and give this the old 1-2 college try and try to get this thing out of here. So he's got his rubber mallet. He's got his nut driver. We're going to see if we can tap this thing out of here carefully. Moving. Okay, it's moving. He's making some progress. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes. It's coming out the bottom. Do this by hand now. There's your mixing chamber. We really haven't damaged anything yet, hopefully. Come back to the bench. Now we're going to try to get this block cleaned up. This is where the tedious part comes. Jacob has brushes. He's got drill bits. He's got screwdrivers. Your kit, normally the contractor's kit we give you will have picks in it. We have picks here someplace. We got drawers full of stuff that we've been using for years. There's a funky pick there. Drill bits. Anything you can find that you can get in all these little nooks and crannies. You may have to re-soak this block now that you got the mixing chamber out of there. And we can spare you that, but you got to get this stuff while it's soft, otherwise it will attempt to reharden. And then that's just some really chunky chunkies down there, guys. Remember, in the side seal cylinders, do not stick screwdrivers down there trying to scrape that stuff out of there, because you will score the inside of that cylinder, and your O-rings on your side seal cartridges will start leaking, and this block will be worthless. You'll have to throw this thing in the trash. So Jacob might just reheat this. We put 5 minutes into cleaning time since the boil. He's going to boil that. He's going to examine his other parts, see if anything else has to go in there today. That chamber probably has to go in there. We'll throw the chamber back in there. Side seals, are they in there? Side seals are already in there. And we're going to let this soak again. Jacob might clean up this gun. He's going to check the handle. There's a couple ports in here that we went through on the first videos, especially where the ports go down inside of the handles. And again, this is, if you get it while it's soft, it's a lot easier to get off of there. Otherwise, you got to boil the handle again. This almost looks like we had a crossover. Not real sure what happened with this gun. It's been sitting around here for a while. Take the safety off the back. Should be in pretty good shape inside. There's some Pura. See if that's going to push out. So if that doesn't work, you can go ahead and put that on the edge of the counter there. See if you can turn it over, hang that off the edge, the handle off the edge. There you go, just like that. He's going to give it a couple wraps, see if we can get it to move. There it goes, coming out the back. Those O-rings may be trashed because it's been sitting in the Pura. If you're going to rebuild, you're going to want to redo these 2 O-rings. Let's look inside the cylinder. So again, from the earlier videos, you'll see, all right, so we've got some buildup in here, but there's a port there that goes down inside the trigger. Port there goes down inside the trigger. Those both have to be cleaned. And then we've got the one we always talk about, and it looks like to me that it's still loose, okay, but there's some foam down in there. This is the one that goes down to the 45. Makes that turn right there and comes down this handle. So you're going to have to get your 10-inch drill bit here, 12-inch, quarter-inch by 10 or 12-inch drill bit. We're going to get it down in there. We're going to make sure that 45 is clean. We're going to take the plugs out of the bottom of the gun that you learned on the earlier videos. And you're going to take that same drill bit and make sure that that port is clean. You have to take the trigger out of there though once you take the ports out of the bottom. So you take the ports out of the bottom, you take the trigger out so you can get your drill bit in there. You should be able to get this handle nice and clean. I'm going to let Jacob keep pecking away at this. He's going to wait for these parts here to soak, and we'll finish this thing up shortly. All right, guys, our block is still in here. I think we're just going to let that sit the night. If you were pressed to get it cleaned up, you could go ahead and clean it up. Otherwise, remember the gun blocks that were, I had one soaking, hanging on the end of the whips? That's what they look like when they're clean. So hopefully we're going to have a gun that looks just as nice tomorrow when we resume this. Gun handle sitting here, he's cleaning the cap. Just a little bit of time and elbow grease. We'll get this done tomorrow. All right, we're back. We've got some parts soaking in here. The block is still in here. Here's the gun parts. Jacob has meticulously gone through and cleaned each and every one. Absolutely spotless. But we do have a side seal that is stuck in the cartridge. So he's removed the O-rings off of there, and now he's going to put a torch on it and try to get that side seal out of the side seal cartridge. So the O-ring on the side seal is going to get sacrificed. See it smoking. You're just cooking that ISO out of there. All right, just popped up. Just going to put a little pair of channel locks on it, trying not to scar up the face. Here's your side seal out. And I guess you're going to dump it. Yep. There's your side seal. Cartridge will be over here in just a second. The cartridge, we'll either let them cool off or we'll throw them in the Pura. That's how you get that apart. Now he's probably just gonna, what are you gonna do? Put it in the Pura? Go ahead and dump it over here in the Pura. Get the spring out of there. If I can, I can't. If he can, he can't. So we'll just put it in the Pura for right now. There's a cartridge. There's a side seal. And that's how you get your side seal out of a stuck cartridge. I think the next thing we're gonna take a look at is this block. It's been in this Pura soaking. Going to be pretty toasty. Here's your block, a lot cleaner than it was. Everything should be loosened up in there. He's got his wire brushes, he's got his picks. And he's going to go ahead and start cleaning this block up. You see how that stuff is all soft now. Like I said, it's like boiled chicken skin. You had some air available, you could blow some of this stuff out of here or use the wire brushes. It's got some brake clean. Puts on his safety goggles just in case. Don't forget about the two little ports that go from the check valve holes up to the side seals. You can see Jacob's got his drill bit in there. Goes all the way through. Make sure those are clean on both sides. Same thing there. And we'll let him continue cleaning this thing up, and we'll come back in just a few minutes. So we got the side seals out of the pot. I spared you the details of cleaning that up. Drop your spring down in there. You put your side seal in there. Don't forget the fat bottom goes down. O-ring goes in first. And you got 2 O-rings that go on the cartridge. Here's something we're going to show you here. On the face of the side seal and also on your mixing chamber, you can sand this out. We're using, what is this, 2000? 1500. Black emery cloth, wet dry sandpaper. And he's basically just on a flat surface polishing the face of the side seal, making sure there's no scratches or any burrs in it. And you can do the same thing with your mixing chamber in a forward and backwards motion on a flat surface. You can put a little oil on the paper. You can put a little grease on the paper. You saw in some of the earlier videos the O-rings that belong in here. You have an O-ring, don't forget, that goes up front in this nose. It has to be replaced. You got an O-ring right back here, hides out underneath this lip. Right in there, there's an O-ring that has to be replaced. You can make sure that this hole here is clean. Got a little junk in there still, Jacob. Down in there. You see there's some more junk in here we got to get out of there. And just go back through, grease everything when you're putting it back together. And you should have a gun that sprays like new. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me, 770-274-9888. Hope this helps you guys.